community, family, faith. Welcome to the Reclaimed American Podcast. Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to another wonderful episode of the Reclaimed American Podcast. I am your host, Shad Turner, and let's get started. So today is Friday, and I wanted to apologize to y'all because I'm actually recording this on Friday. Work has gotten in the way, and you got to make money. So unfortunately, work comes first, and I haven't been getting home until incredibly late this week, or I'm just so dog-ass tired from work that here we are. I'm recording my intro and outro to this show on a Friday. I actually recorded the interview that you're about to hear on Monday, edited it on Tuesday, and I thought for sure, okay, well, tomorrow I'll have, being Wednesday, I'll have plenty of time in the evening to get out here and do my final touches, do what I'm doing right now, and get it done. But unfortunately, that did not happen. Wednesday, I got home, and like I said, I was just so exhausted from the day that I ate, I showered, I went straight to bed. Then yesterday, Thursday, similar deal, didn't get home till right at 8 o'clock. Had to haul ass after I picked up my wife, had to haul ass to the store, do some more grocery shopping for a few things that we didn't get earlier in the week. And by the time we got home, had a little bit of a snack, which I hate doing at night before going to bed, but I was hungry. I didn't really eat before going shopping. So yeah, I was pretty starved. Had a little bit of something to eat and then straight to bed. So far this morning, I haven't gotten that call because I've been on call all week, and I haven't gotten that call to come into the office to do whatever yet. And, so I'm making the most of the situation, and I'm recording now. There you go. Finally got that out. So anyways, like I said, I apologize. It's probably going to be like somewhere between Saturday and Monday before this actually hits the airwaves. And I apologize for that, but I will do my best to not allow that to happen again in the future. So, Baby T Chronicles update. So far this week was a good week. Wife didn't really have too many issues. She was dizzy for a while. I forget which day it was, but yeah, she was kind of dizzy for a while. The day that I recorded the interview, Monday, she wasn't feeling all that great. Puked a couple times, but outside of that, she's doing well. No more trips to the ER. We've got our next appointment where we do the 3D scan. That's scheduled for August 19th. And we're excited for that. We can't wait for that to happen. But at the moment, everything's going good. She's still having the the 2 teeth that she had extracted. The pain on that has finally gone away. Unfortunately, now she's got a tooth pain on the other side of her mouth, and we're going to see what we can do about getting that dealt with. But outside of that, we're also waiting for money to hit the bank, because beginning of the month is always mortgage and insurance, and we got a couple other things that come out on the first of the month, and it's like, bank account's killing us right now. But outside of that, we're doing good. So today, I've got a special treat for y'all. Today you're going to hear my interview with Mark E Petersen, and he is the founder of the People's Patriot Project. And essentially, they're a group of people doing really good things for our veterans, first responders, families, and I mean, as he put it in the interview, he reaches out, he tries to help as many people as he can through the charity. I mean, if you need help with, some kind of medical supplies, or as we said in the interview, there's a guy that needed a wheelchair ramp, and that guy's in South Carolina, but he knew somebody in his local area that just happened to have had a wheelchair ramp. So he's working on getting that from where he's at down to South Carolina. There's another guy that he knows that has a Segway that he's literally almost driven the wheels off of. And so he's trying to help that guy get new wheels put on it because that's the guy's only way of getting around. And then also, even if you need help washing your clothes, you don't have laundry money, he's trying to help people out with that. So, the guy is just going out of his way to try to do as much good as he can in the world. And he's a people connector. He's the one that connected me to Tony Turner, who was my first interview. I met him through Isaac from the Spent Brass podcast, who's also here in Houston. And somehow him and Isaac had gotten together. And then as a result of Isaac posting some stuff of Mark's, I saw it. I reached out to them. We all met up when they had a little, I think they called it a Got Your Six get together. And so a couple of veterans showed up. Isaac from Spent Brass showed up, and they did a podcast together. And unfortunately, my wife and I got there kind of late, and then my wife's hungry. So we went inside to eat because it was kind of hot during the first part of the evening. So we're sitting inside. By the time we came outside, it was just kind of a meet and greet deal, but it was a good time all around. But I hope you enjoy the interview, and here you go, Mr. Mark E. Petersen. Today, we're talking with Mark E. Petersen from the People's Patriot Project. But before we go too far into that, let me just introduce Mark to you. And let me just start off, from what I know of Mark so far, other than being a really cool guy that does a lot of stuff for other people, and found out that we have mutual acquaintances along the lines. But Mark was in the National Guard from September 1990 until October 2002. And at this point, this is where I'm going to jump in and say, hey, Mark, so tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Well, I'm a school teacher out here in Minnesota, originally from Cody, Wyoming. I've got a son in the service right now and a daughter that just graduated from high school. I teach Phi-Ed, social studies, and driver's education. And I was a firefighter right after I got out of the military in 2002. Our unit was deployed at the time, and we were in a unique situation where HHB, 34th Division Artillery, got to do a lot of its command from Minnesota as they were ramping up the major parts of their deployment. And at the time, it wasn't a great fit for me, just statistically, and I wasn't really working at my OS at the time. I was working as a liaison between upper command of the NCO side and upper command of the officers. So Colonel Cry and command were 10 2 guys, and then I also worked with a first sergeant and a captain, a CO for the headquarters battery. I needed to find a place to serve, and so firefighting is what I got into right away. And I stuck with that for a while. And so then we can talk about the vision of the People's Patriot Project. I found that several years later, and so that's where we're at now, kind of.
Okay. So People's Patriot Project, basically, yeah. What is it? What's y'all's mission?
So our mission is a mission to serve. I'm trying to grab up as many people that still have that passion, whether you are a service member, whether you are a first responder. Our actual name is all We the People from the Constitution, the People's Patriot Project. And I've made a whole heart of effort to make sure we're taking care of those people who have given some or a lot. Sadly, there's even those that have given everything. And we also want to give back to those families that we deem as Gold Star families as well. So as far as the gamut is concerned, we do have a mission and where we want to get to, and one major piece to work on the social, emotional, and restoration of our veterans and first responders. But we're also, so one of the most things that was said to me in the last year was, well, Mark, you're working so hard in saturated field.
Hey, Mark.
So saturated,
can you hear?
You're having between 17 to 75 people a day committing suicide. And I go, those numbers aren't good enough for me. So I want to be on board to make sure that we are trying to put into place some social events, a social structure, accommodate sometimes those things at home. I can't afford to do laundry this week. Well, let's find a way to get your laundry done, get you the resources you need.
So basically, you're out there just trying to help anyone that served, currently serving, is a first responder, and just trying to help them out with all and anything that they need help with.
So out there are so many amazing organizations. I could rattle off a dozen right now, and we got Battle Buddies up here, the Battle Buddies USA, that are trying to get jobs for veterans. I know here in Minnesota, they get 30 days, success rate, getting a veteran a job within 30 days of coming into their program. So an amazing group of people. We got Eagle Group up here in Minnesota. Again, corporate level businesses, Carlson, Cambria. I can't even think of the other ones right now, but they hire NCOs and officers that are not in deployment any longer, but have come back and are in that transitioning piece. Mm-hmm. There's people like, there's you, and then there's Isaac, and then DJ down there. Oddly enough, you just had Tony Turner on your show just recently. Yep. And we're working on getting him so he gets to his recording studio and help him even if it's lay down his one track with Simple Man, even though he's got several others, just give him a chance to move forward and find some meaning. We do have a bigger mission, but we're trying to catch as many as we can, and that builds my network. Right. Building relationships with people. I've got a crew of about 16 staff right now that kind of scour Facebook posts, and if they see something that looks a little froggy, they'll get a hold of me, and we'll just straight out reach out to the person and say, hey, what do you need help with right now at this time? And some of them don't feel like they're trained to help in that area. I do have a degree in psychology. Not that fixes everything, but bottom line is we just want to make sure that we're there and we're able and willing to have a conversation and helping people realize that they matter and that they're a big piece of the puzzle. I've got a few chats that I get into talking about how important it is to have them around so that we can remember the ones that they remember and vice versa. So,
right on, very good. And so y'all are like not just helping people in your local area, but you're just reaching out and trying to help as many people anywhere as you can.
Absolutely. That's the greatest part about this, and I've had such a great time. And it's sad that it's actually happening in kind of the sufferings of other people, but just building the relationship. Here's an example. I've got a guy up here who is he takes in elder care for veterans in the VA, mm-hmm. and he does at home out of his house is able to take 3 veterans for long-term care. Well, Connection to Connection had a ton of medical supplies. Well, I went and I picked up all the medical supplies, brought them over there. Well, through that process, they had a wheelchair ramp. Well, I just recently been talking to someone down in South Carolina that needs a wheelchair ramp. Huh. It's long that particular conversations. We've got people that are actually going to be in that area. So we're working on getting that wheelchair ramp down for a veteran that needs access to his home, and just one piece. It's just putting all pieces together. I'm trying the process for our veterans and for our first responders. There needs to be a holistic approach to it. Mm-hmm. We use the fitness piece. We're teamed up with a guy in Duluth that runs the 23rd Veteran, and he works through Team RWB, and we're looking at creating some fitness opportunities to help people. Just get a workout, just go for a walk, just go for a rock march, create social events, just be able. Some of the best times of my life, we weren't in deployment and or we were just meeting to burn some dogs and drink some beers, and even whether it was on the fire department or in my service with the military. It was just that brethren and sisterhood that I had with the people that were closest to me during deployment. And I do want to make sure real quick, I was a non-deployed veteran, and I don't say that to minimize my service, because, I mean, I loved everything that I did. I just think it's the opportunity to go overseas and serve.
Right on. You know, the interesting thing about that is I've heard from other vets that were non-deployed, and some of them get this feeling like, you know, yeah, I'm a veteran, but I don't feel like a real veteran. You know what I mean? They get this feeling like, I served, but I didn't do any of the stuff that all these other guys that have just busted their ass and lost their lives or destroyed their lives. So they don't feel like they deserve to be out there and to even call themselves veteran. Yet it's not like that, because those people, even though, yeah, they might be completely healthy, they might not have any issues, as far as, you know, what other people have, they turn around, they do cool shit like what you're doing.
I think a big piece for me, and I think that's why I have the passion that I have so many close brothers and sisters that went over in multiple deployments. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I had, I did get signed on to a contract with my first year. If that hadn't played out, I probably would not have ETS. You know, there was also the fact that my son was born in 2000 and my daughter was born in 2001. And so just starting that new family was easy to kind of transition where I needed to be professionally. Right. But I also think that's my drive. That's my drive for where I'm at. I never, ever even promoted or pushed the thought of being in the military with my son. Mm-hmm. It's honestly, it was just something that was kind of in our blood. We wanted to serve. We chose to serve, and we feel like that's an important piece. I don't have a separation disorder. I don't have a anxiety for non-deployment. I did have, for a moment, man, all my brothers and sisters are over there. I have some very close brothers and sisters that have struggled with alcoholism, and because possibly their deployment and their enlistment, that I raised for him. So he was in his early teens, and he got involved. He entered the Army. He went and was deployed, and he came back and committed suicide. That was a piece that just, you know, shook me to the core, but also it wasn't something that said, well, now it's time to sit back and wait and watch. It was kind of my call to action. Something needs to be done. And so I got an amazing team of people that love. We always say there's never an I in what we do. We meet together. It's a collaboration. We put together programming. We're looking at, and we can get into in a second, what the big mission of the People's Patriot Project is. But we love every minute that we have to get together and work some solutions for other people.
Right on. So you're talking about this bigger part. Is that where the Lifeguard Campaign comes in?
I would say that's a medium. That's the medium goal. That's the Lifeguard piece is kind of what we believe is kind of the local social piece. We believe that all of us are lifeguards to our brothers and sisters. We've got the skills. We've got the knowledge. We got the understanding. The toughest part about what we're doing is our brothers and sisters that are struggling don't like to come out of the weeds. So we're trying to create these social events. And so when I met you, I was down in Houston. I'm from Minnesota. While I was in Houston for a teacher conference, I set up a podcast with Isaac, and that's when I met you as well as a couple of others down in Houston, and we just started a conversation about how can we start making things better down in Houston. We just had an amazing, reception while we were down there, and had a great time. So we're going to continue kind of talking with Isaac down there and DJ and see if they can keep some things rolling down there. So the People's Patriot Project, our biggest mission is that we want to put together facilities that are kind of a one-stop opportunity where we don't want our first responder or service members to worry about the stigma of crying out for help. What we want them to do is say, hey, I'm going to bring my family to this resort or to this camp or to this opportunity with other people that are having issues, maybe not even realize it, but be able to sit down and enjoy an experience and create a memory amongst themselves and their families, and ultimately get them back on a social level so that they can come back to the community and be that hero that they've already been for the community. So we're looking at building these and retrofitting these, I want to call it resorts. We call it an 8-star resort because we know the 5 stars, everyone big up the the 5 stars, 3 groups, and the 3 mass. So that's what we call our 8-star accommodation.
Right on. So now I'm imagining to do this, y'all are needing some money, and which means you got to raise funds. And I know you do some T-shirt sales, but what else do y'all have going for that?
Absolutely. So we do have our Lifeguard T-shirt program going right now. We also do Facebook posts. We're just keeping it simple for the time being. I work directly with our legislators here in the state of Minnesota. I have several friends, we'll call them, that really do love what our mission is and where we're headed. And they're looking at bonding the properties to us. So right, we don't have a need for cash donations. There's our social events. We have a veteran here in Minnesota that we're looking at. He has a traumatic brain injury from taking a round from the back of his head through his eye socket, and he has had such an amazing recovery. But the state won't let him do anything but drive his Segway around, and he does a great job on that. But the Segway needs tires right now. He's not able to hold down the job because of some of the things that are happening. But so that's the little pieces. We reach out and we find the veterans that aren't capable mind and body. Now he has no problem getting up, getting around, but he's just missing that income piece to put tires back on a Segway. So it's stuff like that we're trying to always cover and take care of people with.
You know, it's funny you mentioned the Segway story, because that was actually one thing I was going to bring up, because somehow that was one of the first stories that I heard, or first videos perhaps that I saw that you talked about it. And there's something like he's got like 30,000 miles on the Segway or some shit, and the tires are only rated for like 25,000, and that's why you're trying to find tires for a Segway. I mean, who even, contemplates that needs to be done, but obviously
right.
It does.
And those numbers are a little high. I mean, it's 25. He's at about 3,800 miles out, and only it's supposed to be at 2,500. Which, I mean, we're talking like a bicycle that's going that far. So, I mean, it's a wear and tear on the machine. And, we've worked through a couple of organizations through here. Some people don't quite understand the urgency, but you know what? It's not a piece that we're going to let down. A lot of people are in support. And
right on. Well, I will say one thing about the show. I apologize, but as you've been talking, I don't know how I sound to you, but you have been breaking up quite a bit. So I'll put this together the best I can, and I'm definitely going to have to get you back on at another time. Just to throw that out there and let you know. But all right, so let's see. So you've got the Lifeguard Campaign going. You're trying to do T-shirt sales. You're working with state representatives. But if anyone wanted to donate money to you, I know, like you said, you do like fundraising campaigns on Facebook or something like that.
Yep. So we'll do the Facebook campaign. You're also welcome to go to our webpage, www.thepeoplespatriotproject.org. I know it's really long right now, but you type it in once and it populates. In the future, we actually are going to become We People, or People, but the let's not confuse anyone with that stuff right now.
Right.
We are the People's Patriot Project. We've got several ways to donate on our donation page.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I always say the writing's on the wall, and it's something that I've said for many years. People notice and see it. It's kind of weird. I just looked at the numbers on our Facebook page, and we've had over 12,000 interactions this week on our page, but only 38 people saw our T-shirt campaign. And I don't get that. It's that crazy algorithm that they got. But it's not something that gets us down. We do ask people to like and share and just do the best they can with what we got on Facebook. I'm saturated at 5,000 people, but I can take as many people in the group that want to be part of the group. So,
all right. So the group is People's Patriot Project on
the
Facebook
People's
groups.
Patriot Project.
Okay. And do y'all have an Instagram?
We do. One of the pieces that I struggle with is just to give everyone a heads up, and maybe this is, I always tell everyone, every time we have a conversation, have an opportunity to speak, there's someone out there that has the skill set to help me with one more piece. Our Instagram is not amazing. I'm trying to get it completely attached. It's just one of the pieces that kind of fall to the side. But that is also the People's Patriot Project as well.
All right. Very good. Let's see. So now, just because we've mentioned him a few times so far in the show, I want to make sure I get the information out right so we can give Isaac credit for getting us connected. But that was
absolutely
Isaac Christopher, right?
Right.
And he's with the Spent Brass podcast, which is also here in Houston, as I am.
Yes.
And if you don't mind me asking, how did you two get together?
You know what? It was just willing to have a conversation. It's just we're willing to make things work and make things happen. I want to get the mission of the People's Patriot Project out there. He wants to help veterans. We just started talking, and it was just all the pieces fit together just with the fact that the National Education Association had their conference down there this summer. And I was just like, dude, I'm going to be down there. Let's put something together. And it was such a great time, a great night, meeting you, your wife, a couple of veterans from the area, and down there at Platypus Brewery in Houston. You guys got to stop in there, too.
Oh, yes. I love their wings. Their beer was good, but I'll be honest, I am not a beer drinker. You give me a beer, you can sit me in a corner, and I'm fine and I'm quiet. But if you want me to be happy and outgoing and, wanting to hug everybody without even being drunk, you got to give me like whiskey or scotch. Those two things, those make me feel good. Beer, I don't know what it is about beer. It just, it doesn't necessarily depress me. It just doesn't exactly excite me. And then after one beer, especially the ones they've got there at Platypus, man, they've got like 12% alcohol content.
Yeah,
that just as soon as I got home, I instantly felt like I had a hangover. But again,
and those handcraft beers are so heavy. I mean, it's one of the things that we've done here in Minnesota is we partnered with about 100 of the breweries, and we're getting ready to launch something here. It'll be pretty exciting. You'll be one of the first ones to know about it once we get it rolling.
Awesome. All right. Well, I've got all your connection info. And is there any last parting words you want to give?
No, I mean, I guess I kind of, not pardon the pun, but segued a little bit. Is someone's on this podcast right now that is hearing and needing a little help. I also believe that in helping others is therapeutic as well. And there's people out there that are hearing this that has an answer or part of the solution to what we're trying to achieve and get done, whether it's a graphic artist, whether it's a web page designer, whether it's someone that's got an extra $20 in their pocket. One of the things I also want to make clear is just because you didn't serve or just because you aren't a first responder doesn't mean you're not a patriot. And we want to celebrate those people that have supported our service members and our first responders and believe that, our men in blue going out and protecting our life and property is an important part of our world. We want to celebrate those patriots as well. So please look us up on the peoplespatriotproject.org. I'm willing to have a conversation with anyone about being part of this. This is a collaboration. It's not a dictatorship. We're willing to work with everyone. And the fun part is, we've been getting so much responses from other parts of the country. We got a guy right now just on fire down in North Carolina, and we're just trying to figure out how to put all the pieces together to get him to be part of the whole big picture as well. So, don't hesitate for a second to think you can't be part of the solution.
There you go. There's our interview with Mark E Petersen. And like I said, he's an awesome guy. The People's Patriot Project is doing their damnedest to do really good work for our veterans, first responders, and their families. And if you're a like-minded individual and you wish to help them out, by all means, go to Google, type in the People's Patriot Project, hit enter, and all their social media accounts will pop up, including a link to their donate section. And you can donate a little funds to them and help them to be able to do better things for everyone that's out there. And isn't that the ultimate goal? Help people out. That's where this show comes in. I'm trying to spread the message for people that are doing good out there for the veteran community, for the first responder community. And if you're one of those people, reach out to me. I'd love to have you on the show. Or if you know of someone, have them reach out to me. Share this show, share the message, and let's grow the community and help as many people as we can. But if you want to know more about Mark Petersen and the People's Patriot Project, by all means, look in our show notes. I'll have links to his pages from there. Or, like I said, just go to Google, type them in, and search them out. If you feel like donating, by all means, click their donate button, or maybe find one of their T-shirts and purchase that. That also helps them out. And by you wearing their T-shirt, they're getting more visibility, because people see the T-shirt. They're going to be intrigued, and they're going to look it up themselves, or maybe stop you and ask you about it. So, like I said, help out where you can. Also, I wanted to apologize a little bit for the audio quality. I'm not sure if it was necessarily my connection or his connection, but it sounded like he kept dropping out a lot during the show. I edited out as much of the crap, if you will, as I could. But I know some spots got a little rough, and I apologize for that. Next time I'll see what we can do to make that better. And at some point I will have Mark back on in the future. Or I hope to, anyhow. But in the meantime, I also want to let you know about something else we've got going on with Reclaimed American. And I do have a closed Facebook group, and it's called Reclaimed American Podcast. So if you want to know more about what our guests are up to, because I'm inviting all of our guests that come on to join the group, and whenever they've got something important that they want to post, I encourage them to share it to the Facebook group. That way, they're helping to spread their message that much more, and you have one source, one place that you can go to find out more information about what's going on without necessarily having to go 20 million places. So, check it out. Facebook, go to Facebook groups and search for Reclaimed American Podcast. And like I said, it's a closed group. At the moment, I'm wanting to say it's pretty easy to join. You just click the join button, and someone will approve you, and you're in. And then you'll be able to get all the updates, like I said, from all of my guests, and also anything that I decide to put up there and share for the world. At some point, I'm probably going to back off on as many podcast posts as I do on the public group for Reclaimed American, because that one is going to be more dedicated towards the woodworking side, woodworking projects that I do. Now, those projects, I'm starting off with a lot of those being for nonprofit groups. So if you're a group and you're having a raffle, an auction, whatever, and you need items to sell or give away during these events, reach out to me. Let me know. I'm going to start hopefully working on some of those this weekend just to get some stuff made up and let y'all have an idea as to what I'm making and see if it's something you want to have at your event. But that's it for now. Like I said, check out the show notes. All of Mark's info will be in there. For whatever reason, we're having power issues today and the lights just flickered and, well, the battery on my laptop is pretty much dead. So if the power goes out, there goes the show. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it here, and I will see y'all next time. Thank you for listening to the Reclaimed American podcast. If you're ready to do more and be more, start by leaving us a rating and review on iTunes or Google Play. Then join our community on Facebook and Instagram at Reclaimed American, and join us over on our website at reclaimedamerican.us.